I call the February 17th, 2026 regular board meeting of Glencoe Park District to order. Lisa, please call the roll and state the time.
Excellent. 7:01. Commissioner Kobe,
Here.
Commissioner Reifin,
Here.
Commissioner Hazen,
Here.
Commissioner Guzman,
Here.
Commissioner Cummins.
Here.
Nice. Consent agenda items A through C are routine. Does any commissioner want any item pulled from the consent agenda items? No. Okay. I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
So moved.
Nicole.
Nicole,
Second.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Kobe,
Yes.
Commissioner Reifin,
Yes.
Commissioner Hazen,
Yes.
Commissioner Guzman,
Yes.
Mr. Cummins.
Yes.
Okay, it is our practice at this time not to address questions. However, we will take comments under advisement. There will be a separate matter of the public related to boat lockers and sun shelters after the presentation. Is there anybody who would like to make a verbal comment at this time? And if so, please limit them to 3 minutes. Again, if you'd like to make a comment later on after the presentation for beach, we will have a second opportunity. Okay, so I don't think anyone has any comments from the matters of the public for this session, so we can move on to a very exciting part of the meeting. Professional Recognition Resolution 984, Shannon Stevens, Facility Manager of Glencoe Beach and Ice Rink, was awarded in a very competitive environment the IPRA's Young Professional of the Year and NRPA's 30 Under 30. I thank her on this incredible achievement and acknowledge her accomplishment with this resolution. I'm going to read a very long resolution that does not always encompass everything, but we know how impressive Shannon is. Glencoe Park District Shannon Stevens Professional Recognition Resolution number 984, whereas Shannon was recognized by the National Recreation and Park Administration as one of the 30 under 30 young professionals transforming the field in 2026. Whereas Shannon was also recognized by the Illinois Parks and Recreation Association as the Young Professional of the Year in 2026. Whereas her accomplishments reflect her dedication to improving the quality of life in Glencoe and her contributions toward advancing the profession. Whereas, in recognition of her consistent commitment of time, energy, and expertise to the betterment of our recreational services and facilities throughout the nation and state. Whereas her development and implementation of the Beach Safe program have reached over 700 children in Glencoe ages 3 to 11 through partnerships with the Park District's Early Childhood Program and Local School District 35, integrating this initiative into the curriculum. The intergovernmental partnership provided children with essential water safety education and strengthened the culture of safety in Glencoe Beach. Whereas she expanded the focus of safety by developing and producing a series of boater safety videos for the lakefront. These resources provide accessible guidance for residents and visitors alike, and watching the video is now a requirement for all new boaters. By modernizing how safety information is shared, Shannon has made a lasting impact on the lakefront operations, ensuring that education and enjoyment go hand in hand. Whereas Shannon has also been instrumental in fostering a strong sense of community through signature special events, including the Summer Splash at the beach and themed family skates at the ice rink. These programs, which attract over 1,000 participants annually, have transformed recreational spaces into a vibrant community hub. She also facilitated a school-based skating program that enables over 800 students to learn how to skate. Whereas Shannon is fully invested in Glencoe Park District, having served as an intern, athletic manager, and now facility manager, she supports her colleagues through internal initiatives, having helped lead the camp committee, participating in the safety committee as well, and contributing to many, many task forces. Whereas her influence has extended beyond her local impact, Shannon has served as day camp committee chair, participates in the Women in Leisure Services, WILS, presented at the IPRA conference, and attended professional development school to strengthen her skills and support her peers across the state. If it's not enough, there's still more. Whereas through her innovation, her leadership, and her commitment to both Glencoe Park District and the Parks and Rec profession, without a doubt, Shannon exemplifies the very best of a young professional in Parks and Rec in the entire state of Illinois, as well as nationally. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Glencoe Park District Board of Commissioners, representing all of the residents of the Park District, recognize the meritorious service of Shannon Stevens and records it in a permanent record of the Glencoe Park District for all to see. This resolution shall be in full force and in effect immediately upon its passage, hopefully adopted this day, the 17th of February, 2026.
Good job.
We have to vote on this?
We'll vote at the end when the
When-
action items,
We're going to vote at the end.
but
Okay.
we will have come up for pictures and all that.
I am convinced that that is going to happen.
Can we have Shannon come up and take a picture? And you can go up, take. a
Oh,
picture.
perfect. Take all this.
Oh, shit, it's up there. I'll get it for you.
So excited for you, Shannon.
Yeah, I think the staff is supporting the staff, family members. That's really good. But
Want to say anything?
Oh, thank you.
Bobby, do you want to say anything? Do you want to say anything about Shannon?
Shannon's definitely, she's the future of our field. She's incredible. She's so passionate about it. She's one of those people I remember on the 4th of July when the trolley that we rented to bring people down to the 4th of July broke down. Shannon had gone home to a party, and next time we turned around and Shannon was driving the bus at 9 o'clock at night, bringing people back to the beach. And we knew then that Shannon was a keeper and we wanted to keep her at the Glencoe Park District. We're extremely lucky to have you on our team and very excited about your future and we can't wait to see what you're going to do. This is just the start. Congratulations.
He stole my story. That's my story, the child. Job. I just like to thank you. I see myself in Shannon actually as a young professional, and watching her grow has been a pleasure. And I also knew as an intern, I'm like, oh, we have to keep her. We had to draw out. And she's grown tremendously. She's not afraid of a challenge. She's not afraid to get involved both professionally to better our field, but also get involved in the community and just developing and taking a run with Beach Safe and making it even better was so impressive. So congratulations, very deserved recognition.
But we're not done yet.
Nope.
I will say, before we go on to the next item, just real quickly, sitting in that room and seeing hundreds of park districts represented,
Thousands. What was 5,000 in that room? 100 park districts.
Hundreds of
about
park
5,000 in
districts.
the room. Yeah.
5,000 people. And I've been in that room before for other events. And that room, I believe, is reserved for the largest of the large conferences that are not at McCormick Place. So you can imagine the room was filled. It was tight and there were thousands of people. And I would say probably half of them are under 30. So for Shannon to have done what she has done is really remarkable. And I think the guidance of the leadership here and the opportunities that you've given her and the fact that you can see this talent, nourish it, have it grow, have it develop for the betterment of our community is really impressive. So thank you, Shannon. But let's move on to the next professional resolution, because after 984 comes 985. Bobby Collins, Deputy Director and Director of Recreation and Facilities, was awarded with the IPRA's Community Impact Award. We congratulate him on this milestone and will acknowledge his accomplishment with the resolution, which I have here. Also, just for those that were not in attendance, I would say maybe there were, of these 100 park districts and 5,000 people, maybe 10 awards total.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is not an area where people get a participation award. Of course, everyone participated, which is great, but to see Glencoe up there, not just once, but twice, was really, really impressive. And people were talking about it. So and they were talking about it in a good way.
A little jealous, maybe.
A little jealous, but it really was impressive. So Glencoe Park District, Bobby Collins, Professional Recognition Resolution number 985. Whereas Bobby was recognized by the Illinois Parks and Recreation Association with a Community Impact Award in 2026. Whereas his accomplishments reflect his dedication to improving the quality of life in Glencoe. Whereas Bobby Collins has a profound impact on the Glencoe community during his 10 years with the Glencoe Park District, driving innovation, inclusion, collaboration that benefit not only our community, but across Illinois. Whereas in 2018, recognizing growing concerns about beach safety, Bobby developed Beach Safe, a groundbreaking program that invited children from underserved communities to Glencoe Beach to learn essential water safety and survival skills. Mornings focused on life-saving techniques, while afternoons were filled with fun water sports. Many participants, though living just a few miles from Lake Michigan, had limited or quite frankly no exposure to water. Whereas Bobby connected our aquatic campers with these participants, creating meaningful friendships between children who otherwise would not have met. Through his leadership, the Beach Safe program has served thousands and become a model replicated by other lakeshore park districts. Whereas committed to accessibility, Bobby was instrumental in forming a partnership with Explore More Illinois, providing Glencoe beach passes through 25 surrounding libraries, offering free access to thousands of individuals. Very inclusive, very impressive. Whereas a respected industry leader, Bobby regularly unites area districts to collaborate on beach safety, sustainability, customer service, and sharing best practices statewide. Whereas his financial expertise has also benefited our district significantly, helping secure over $100,000 in private donations during the renovation of the Weinberg Family Recreation Center and donations to support the Beach Safe program. Whereas he knows how to build a culture of fun, leading the Glencoe Park District team to a four-peat victory in IRPA's Park Pursuit competition. Whereas Bobby Collins' leadership, enthusiasm, and heart have made Glencoe a model for how recreation can connect and strengthen communities. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Glencoe Park District Board of Commissioners, representing all the residents of the Park District, recognizes his impact on the community and the meritorious service and records in the permanent records of the Glencoe Park District for all to see. The resolution shall be in full force and in effect immediately upon its passage, adopted this day, the 17th of February, 2026.
Picture?
Let's do a picture. Yeah. Had I known, I would have dressed up, Bobby.
Listen.
All very good. I don't know, Bobby's wife Nicole is a teacher at a high school. So very impressive. All three ones? Okay. This is my staff, so they're the ones everything happened, they make, but all the deputies. Andrew, Ashley, your mentor.
Of course, I can't let him go without saying something. So I remember 10 years ago when I heard about this man who was really good at sailing, and we had a problem at our beach at the time. And I said, how do I get him to work here? And I interviewed him like, he will be a perfect fit for here. He accepted my offer, which I was so thankful, and totally transformed the operations of the beach to what it is today, and has mentored then Adam and Shannon from that point on. It was an easy decision when we had our director of recreation facilities open. It was a really easy decision to promote him up. He was never in the field of park and recreation before he became to the Glencoe Park District, but he embodies everything that we believe in park and recreation. And that's why I knew he was a perfect fit for this community impact road, because he really does believe in making an impact in the community. And he does it every day. I'd also like to thank his wife and his kids. This job is not easy, and it takes you away from your family a lot of nights and a lot of weekends, especially as a beach manager. When he was in Emerald, and still to this day, you get dragged to a lot of special events and other activities. And so we appreciate your dedication to the Glencoe Park District also. So thank you for coming tonight, and thank you for always being there for your dad. So Big round of applause.
Yeah. I mean, as I said before, it's just so impressive to be in a room of so many people and have kind of one, it feels like you're at the Emmys and one TV show is constantly winning and the other TV shows are like, but we were the TV show that won. We were the big, we were the Pit, I suppose. I don't know if that's the one that won. We were the Pit.
Yeah.
No, really impressive. I met Bobby, when you first started. And one thing I don't think we put in the resolution, but I think should be also really impressive is that Bobby actually, I think, started the sailing and aquatics camp.
Oh, you did, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's
He
one
did,
of our most
absolutely, yeah.
popular
Yeah,
camps.
we have to save something for his 10-year resolution working here.
Got it.
Which is
My
2
bad.
months.
Okay, we'll save it. So I'm
It was about his community impact.
sorry to spoil it, but your community impact has been well received in many areas, some of which will come at your 10-year high school reunion, apparently.
There you go.
Um, But seriously, I think it's really impressive. I know I for one, personally as a board member, have struggled with how do we create an inclusive environment for our beach. And I think a few years ago when tasked with this to go find how we can be more inclusive and how we can offer to some other neighborhoods that may not have the financial means to buy the season pass or access our beach on the weekends. I think this was an incredible win-win for the community and for our community and for other communities as well. So just keep being innovative, keep being you. I'm glad you're not in finance anymore. I think you're in the right spot. And thank you to Nikki and the kids over there for lending him to us many nights and weekends, like Lisa mentioned. So perfect. Okay.
You don't have to stay. You can sneak out if you want. You do.
Yeah,
Important. Get it.
8th grade, you got to prep for
But make sure
freshman
you
year.
take a cookie before you leave. There's cookies.
Take a cookie. Don't take a Diet
Maybe
Coke.
take a 2, 1 or 2 cookies.
Okay. Well, I think first we're doing the presentation on the youth and teen programming. Really excited to have Andrew, Emily Holberg, Ashley Martinez present the report and answer any questions that we have. And I will say, I think your outfits are fantastic.
Also, Adam's up
And
there.
Adam is here too.
Sorry.
Great.
I missed him.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Obviously, we're here to talk about youth and teen programming and got the whole team here to obviously talk and walk through all the different offerings and kind of our process. So on the agenda tonight is an overview of our programs, the planning process that goes into planning all of our different programs, little deep dive or a little superficial dive into some of our highlight programs that we have between the youth and teen programs, and then obviously looking at some trends and opportunities that present us into the future here. First, I want to introduce the team. I know a couple of them have been up here, one that hasn't been here. Presenting will be the first time, but got Andrew Vallette here. He's been with the district for 2 years. He oversees really all of our athletic-based programming and fitness. Ashley has actually been here the longest. She started here as well as a camp counselor back in 2016, but started full-time with us 2 years ago in a recreation facility supervisor role and oversees all of our non-athletic contractual programs. And then Emily's the newest member of the team, started in July, as you guys know, and oversees all of our ceramics and art programs. As far as an overview, so our program objectives are pretty straightforward. At the end of the day, it's mission driven. So we really focus on fostering well-being, creating memorable experiences, and enriching lives. And that's really at the core of all the different programs we offer. And again, customer focus, like how we want to make sure that we're creating a super great experience for all of our customers. And that goes from the planning process all the way to the execution. And then with that, we want to maximize capacity and revenue. The best example I have of this, and the team always talks about, is we run programs out of South School, and we know that the gymnasium can accommodate up to 30 participants. We know we have to put a contractor that's willing to put 30 participants in that program, because if we don't, we know that we're losing out on capacity and revenue. So it's really important for the team as we go through our planning process to think strategically about how we're maximizing that capacity and revenue across all of our programs. Program diversification. As you go through this, you see we try to diversify the programs. We're not just heavily in one area versus another, and we're trying to bring things based on the community need, community interest. And we also acknowledge that care and convenience-based programming is essential to what we do. We know that a lot of families, especially on the school age and youth and teen side, are wanting to extend their day, We know school really is designed for working families, so having the ability to extend your day to 4 o'clock, 4:15, 4:30 is essential. And that's what we really provide them and is the core of the bulk of our program. And of course, the convenience. So having programs at South School, at West School, potentially at Central School are all pivotal to the success of the programs we have. And at the same time, we're cost aware. Like we know we have to tier our cost of our programs and we have to be sensitive to that. So we think of kind of the good, better, best model and tier our programs that way. So we have some programs that are on the lower end of the cost model, and then we have some that are more specialized and on the higher end. But we know that they're kind of that best program and can actually charge that amount because they bring a high quality program. From a program location standpoint, we utilize every means we have. So we have a great relationship with District 35. So we leverage South School, West School, Central, and then obviously TAKEIF is the hub of bulk of our programs. We operate programs 7 days a week. We know there's opportunity every day to offer some sort of program, whether it be sports class on a Saturday with adult tot, to tennis on Sundays. We know that we need to go to where the people are too. And then lastly, internal versus contractual. Being that we're a smaller community, we have smaller reach on finding high quality instructors. So we do have some internal programs. That's ones that are employees of the Glencoe Park District. And those give us the ability to have a lot more control within the day-to-day operation of the program. But they come with some challenges too. And that's why we do lean fairly heavily on the contractual based program, is because we can rely on the expertise of things like a Sarah Hall Theater Company, a Finish Strong Athletics to bring in that high quality program and also have the backing of multiple instructors, multiple people that can really sub in if we have challenges, which as Emily can attest, as we lose beloved instructors, we scramble to find people, and it's hard to find people that are going to really provide a great experience. So that's extremely important. Looking at the last year here, just a really high level, we offer 288 programs with over 3,000 registrations in the school age and teen programming, with over $1.1 million in revenue, which is pretty impressive for the size of the community that we're served. And really at the end of the day, we're landlocked on what we can offer and how many people are going to participate in our program. We know we only have 1,200 participants in District 35, and only a limited number of them are going to come our way for programs. So we're really excited about what we're doing and some of the strategic thinking we have ahead. You obviously can see the breakdown by area as well. Next slide shows a really high level view of all the different programs that we have. So as I said, we run programs at the TAKEIF Center, South School, Weinberg, and West School. And you can see kind of obviously TAKEIF is our hub. It's where we have the most space, the most ability to run and offer programs. And the team does an exceptional job of leveraging every area that we have available. So again, diversification, trying to find different opportunities that, again, are meeting the needs of the community. And I'll pass it over to Andrew.
So during the pre-program planning phase, we develop detailed budgets to ensure financial responsibility and sustainability. We then design and build out program offerings using Google Sheets to track classes, dates, and fees before entering all of our programs into RecTrack, which is our registration software. We coordinate facility usage across all locations to prevent conflicts and maximize space efficiency. At the same time, we prepare the seasonal brochure and implement marketing strategies to drive registration. The brochure process occurs 3 times per year, working roughly 6 months ahead. Offerings are selected based on community needs and district priorities, confirmed with instructors and contractors, and carefully reviewed multiple times to ensure accuracy across the brochure, registration system, and internal tracking documents before publication. Looking at program implementation, instructors and contractors complete assigned trainings through Talent LMS, which include EAP review and independent contractor training, which cover pickup and drop-off procedures, binder locations, emergency protocols, and site-specific expectations. Automated participant communications like welcome emails and no class reminders are set up. As part of the program implementation stage, we develop school and transportation rosters to ensure accurate daily tracking and safe transitions. We prepare program binders that include attendance sheets, emergency contact information, allergy information, and transportation notes so all staff and contractors are on the same page. Once programs begin, they are implemented and actively monitored to ensure safe, smooth, and efficient operation. Finally, we conduct ongoing evaluation and review to ensure quality and effectiveness. Turn it over to Ashley.
Thank you. So as Adam mentioned, we work closely with District 35 to use their facility space, such as their gym, their cafeteria, and their fields to offer school-based programming. As well, the district also helps provide transportation for students who have programming at the Take-If Center. This allows us to offer programs that are not that help prevent transportation barriers. As well as we also coordinate with the schools daily. So we're constantly letting them know if someone's enrolled, if they drop, if a class is canceled, and that all participants who get off the bus, as seen in the picture, are accounted for here. So a key part of programming is communication and making sure that it's the same from manager to manager. We work hard to ensure that we have program communication consistently through our emails, our welcome emails, our no class reminders, and any changes to programs. We want to make sure that we're communicating to the right people at the right time with the right level of detail, and that we're sharing the need to knows, not the nice to knows. So this is an example of how we put those communication principles into effect. We use a feature in our registration system called RecConnect that allows us to create email templates for our welcome emails, our cancellation notice, and no class reminders. This helps us keep our communication consistent from manager to manager. It's the same branding, it's the same information, and it's the same expectation no matter what program you're in. So here's an overview of our just general enrichments for enrollment and revenue. Just want to note all enrollment numbers are non-unique enrollments. So this slide represents all of the contractual general enrichments that we offer. They're programs such as STEM, cooking, dance theater, a bunch of other things at our different locations. So just wanted to highlight some of our general, stronger enrichment offerings that consistently do well season to season. iCook is our most reliable after-school program since it's offered at the schools. We offer it twice a week at West and South School for grades 1 through 4. It's a lower price point program, but it consistently draws strong school participants. iCook is one of our most popular enrichment program. It consistently carries a wait list, actually. For contractors, they are allowed to set their own enrollment limits. Some are more flexible on how many extra participants we can take in, and some are pretty strict on their cap. So iCook has a maximum enrollment of 15 students. Every season we offer the program, it fills up pretty quickly. And to accommodate that wait list, we are offering another session, another class for the spring. Sarah Hall is our largest general enrichment program. She oversees all of our dance and theater programs. She offers programmings at the schools, at Weinberg, and at Take-If, which offers a large variety of different locations and price points. Her pricing is tiered based on class length, and the very unique thing about her programming is that all of her sessions lead up to a performance or a dance recital or something like that. So it gets people coming back. In 2025, our dance and theater program enrolled 431 students and generated $281,000. So we tend to average about 100 to 110 participants per session. There is a small dip in our theater enrollment, but our Broadway bound continues to be very strong. Now I will transition to Andrew.
So looking at athletic programming, this is an overview of all of the athletics for 2025. As you can see, hot shots, live sport, in-house basketball, and Finish Strong rank among the top programs in both revenue and enrollment. General athletics include other contractors such as Tiger Gymnastics, Game On, and Pride Dojo. This is a snapshot of our seasonal athletic offerings, including the in-house basketball league and all of our contractual providers, along with the locations where their classes are held. Next, we'll look at our in-house basketball league and a few popular contractual providers. The basketball season runs January through mid-March with coach-led practices on Tuesdays or Thursdays for grades 3rd through 6th. Clinics on Wednesdays are ran through Hotshot Sports, and those are for 1st and 2nd graders, and games are on Saturdays. A major focus is our evaluation and team formation process, designed to distribute talent as evenly as possible. We collect data through registrations such as self-evaluations, height, prior travel experience, then factor in preseason clinics, in-person skill evaluations, and a final coach review. This season, we also leveraged AI to analyze all the data points and create teams based on the point system it generated. While team balance is not a perfect science, we are intentional in making it as fair as possible. A couple notes about the season. This season, we had 171 enrolled across 23 teams and 37 volunteer coaches. This year, we had a little bit of a change to our league format. We shifted the 1st and 2nd grade divisions to a 3-versus-3 league, and then 3rd and 4th grade shifted to 5-versus-5 on the full court, which has been well received. Now taking a look at some of the top athletic contractors. Hotshot Sports is one of our providers offering classes 6 days a week at Takeif, South, and West School for preschool through 4th grade. Classes are $20 per participant and include a variety of athletic programs such as flag football, floor hockey, dodgeball, and total sports. In 2025, Hotshots had a total enrollment of 473, generating just over $127,000 in revenue. Live Sport Athletics is our youth tennis and pickleball provider, offering classes for preschool through 4th grade. Classes range from $21 to $26 per participant, and in 2025, enrollment totaled 378, generating nearly $79,000 in revenue. And then lastly, Finish Strong offers classes 5 days a week at Takeif, South, and West schools for kindergarten through 4th grade at $30 per participant. They provide a popular after-school club for boys and girls, as well as a basketball train and play program. In 25, enrollment was 173, generating just over $71,000 in revenue. I'm going to turn it over to Emily.
Last but not least, now we're moving into our art programs that are run by our in-house staff. This is staff that are paid directly from the Glencoe Park District on our payroll, and these classes do take place only at Takeif. This includes our 2D art, which are run by our instructor Corky, Art Explorers, Mixed Media, Youth Painting, and then also our ceramics classes that go all the way from preschool through 12th grade with our pre-teen and teens. And in 2025, we had 455 participants in those programs. When it comes to teen programming, this is something that is a challenging age group, as you can imagine. We do offer programming for teens, but we do find it more beneficial to focus on our teen community groups. This is like the Glencoe Youth Services and the GJHP, the Glencoe Junior High Project, to leverage the spaces that we own, but they run the programs, such as GYS uses the Berlin Park building for their weekly get-togethers, and then the GJHP hosts things such as the Beach Bash and utilizes skate nights at Weinberg. With the teenage, we are competing with school sports, club sports, and school clubs, so that's why the age is a little bit more difficult. But we do have classes for them. We have one-off events, and those seem to be the most strong. It's less of a commitment. It's one thing that they can get all their friends to join in on. And our most important and most prideful teen programming is that we employ over 200 teens in the Glencoe Park District, whether it be their first job as the cashier at Weinberg, skate guard, camp counselors, lifeguards, coaches, referees, and so on. And then the last process of our program planning is the evaluation and review. This is where we're reconciling our budgets, we're paying our contractors, we're gathering feedback from surveys from the participants as well as the instructors, and we finalize our end of the season rec review. That's an evaluation of program performance, what did well, what didn't, are we utilizing the rooms the correct way, and do we have diverse programs? The most important part of the rec review is we want to have organized, safe, and consistent across every location of our programs. So this is an example of our internal document that is the rec review, rec program review, I'm sorry. So this lets us see all of our programs and Shannon's as well on one document, and we can look at price points. Are we diverse in our pricing? Are we offering lower priced options as well as higher priced? Are we diverse in what we're offering? We have cooking, we have STEM, we have Dungeons and Dragons on Saturdays. And this just helps us see an overall view as well as evaluate for the next season. So when something turns red, it's, you know, it didn't go well, it didn't run. And then green means we exceeded what we wanted to. And then yellow is on the cusp of needing to review. So with all of that, the trends and opportunities that we find for the youth age, families are prioritizing convenience. With Glencoe, the trend is needing care-based programming with 2 working parents. So offering after-school programs where we can get the children from school and offer to keep them longer without them having to get full care. This is why we continue to offer programs from 3:30 to 5:30. And we want to optimize non-traditional spaces in our building. So an example of that is this past week, the gym was fully booked out for an NSSRA dance, but we also had a sports class and we needed to put them somewhere. So we utilized this room here in Community Hall. We had the sports games in here, and it's just optimizing and seeing what spaces we could use. Another example of that is the Weinberg Rec Room. And then lastly, with the rec review is knowing the life cycle of a class. When should we sunset the class and move on to the next thing? And when should we breathe life into a program such as iCook because it's so successful? With that, we're looking at restructuring where you can stack classes like we do tennis, 4 classes in a row, back to back. The contractor's not coming in multiple days, they're coming in one day. And we optimize the space for them and looking to do that for stacking dance classes and karate classes. That's it. If anybody has any questions, we're here.
Thank you. Great report. Any questions? All right.
Anyone? The revenue figures on there, that is revenue for the program and we get a cut of that. So just I don't want everyone to think that
On average, about 30% of that will
on
get.
the contract ones, the other ones that you were talking about, Emily was talking about are all in it. Whoever comes up with these names, I don't know if it's our marketing team or others, but like cook it and bake it till you make it. Yeah, I mean, really creative.
Tasty travels.
And I think this is the first time you guys have presented to mostly a new board. One of the things that we really strive to be here at the Park District is to have at least something for every age group. And I know the ceramics works out really well for little kids, but it also works out well for adults. And then you have, obviously, we've talked about the programming I think your parents take advantage of. You know, it's really important to have that. The teens are probably your hardest, I imagine, are the hardest to get. So keep doing what you're doing. And I think it's all appreciated by the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Okay.
Thank
And
you.
again,
Thank you.
incredibly
Thank you. very much.
well-dressed
That's very good.
individuals.
Selling shirts in the park.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you for that. We are going to move now to the presentation discussion on boat lockers and sun shelters. This will be led by Kyle, Bobby, and Lisa to present the options and answer any questions. We will have matters from the public after this presentation. So I know a lot of you are probably here for that.
All right, great.
Okay.
Thank you, President Covey. Good evening, everyone. So excited to be here tonight to discuss our beach boating locker racking system options, as well as some site furniture for the sun shelters. Structure of the presentation tonight, the first portion is going to be focused on lockers and storage. I'll go through the timeline, kind of where we're at in the process, the various options. Bobby will talk about some of the feedback we received, some considerations. We'll pause for board discussion, and then we'll move into the site furnishings, and then open it back up for public comment and then board discussion. Stop me along the way if you got any questions, and happy to answer them. So just want to start with a little recap of the timeline. So The larger beach project was obviously part of the 2024 voter approved referendum. The boating portion, the beach project design took place last year, really started in June and July of 2025, where we had significant community input, meetings with the Lakefront Advisory Committee, as well as multiple board meetings. That led into September of 2025, where staff began to look into options related to the boat storage lockers and the boat racking systems. September and October continued that search. In November, modular lockers were presented to the Lakefront Advisory Committee and also had 2 open house meetings in November and December for feedback from the larger community. Today, February 17th, we're here to present those options, hopefully get some good discussion and board direction and feedback. Coming out of this meeting, if there is good direction or if we need a follow-up meeting to get more direction, we would then go into final design. That final design is intended to take place over the course of really March, April, May, all the way through April, and then we'll move into permitting, bidding, and then ultimately contracting with a target construction start date after the boat season, after Labor Day of this year. On the on the boat lockers and boat racks, we would not start that work until after the boat season, October. So we may start the interior work at the Saffron Beach House, the sun shelters, trellis, and boardwalk and playground after Labor Day. We would hold off on the boat locker and boat storage till after the boat season. Little project background. So the lockers and storage is really one part of the much larger project taking place down at the beach. Kind of a depiction here on the top is the various areas that are being touched as part of the larger project. Just as a recap, the trellis, the interior work at the Saffron Beach House, the sun shelters and boardwalk, as well as the boat storage and boat lockers. So for tonight, really, an understanding of what our goals are. The goals of the locker and boat racking system discussion is to replace our failing lockers and boat racks with the goal of reducing maintenance burden. ADA compliance. Anytime we touch anything through a major capital investment, we need to make sure we're meeting our ADA compliance requirements. Looking to optimize our beach space and or adding more lockers if feasible. And really an idea of complementing the larger project. Again, this is just one element of a much larger project, but it's all within close proximity. So we want to make sure the project elements complement each other and are aesthetically pleasing to the beachgoers and general public. Staff and design team spent significant time researching what these options are. We'll get into it in a little bit, but they're limited options. So we really have 2 options tonight for the board to consider, discuss, and provide feedback on. So current locker conditions. So the current lockers are aging and deteriorating. Hopefully the pictures here can kind of show the conditions that we're finding in sections of the lockers. These are repairs that were made this past year down at the beach. So there's various levels of rust, rot, and structural wear on the existing locker systems. They're nearing their end of the useful life. We're in a cycle of making annual repairs, Band-Aid repairs, kind of facelifts on these aging locker systems. And because we have the larger project taking place, now is the logical time both in their life cycle as well as meshing with the larger project to replace them and to do so in the correct manner. The goal again would be to an opportunity to modernize the beach operations, modernize the locker options. And again, these are not ADA compliant, so the idea is to make them ADA compliant. When we go to replace them, whichever option is ultimately chosen, our goal is to have durable materials that are appropriate for lakefront conditions. It's windy, it's wet, it's sandy, it's exposed to all the elements that one would experience. We want to make sure that the design and the materials are such that can withstand those as best as possible. We want to make sure they're secure and user-friendly, make sure people's stuff is protected and lockable. Low long-term maintenance. We build something, whether it's a playground or in this case lockers, we want to put it up and have minimal expected repairs for 15, 20, 25 years. Better, more suitable materials. If option to reconstruct is chosen, we would look to do so with materials that are more suitable for that environment. Fits into the beach aesthetic, again, just making sure everything blends together in a cost-effective life cycle value. So option 1. So as I said, we really have 2 options tonight. Option 1 is to rebuild the existing style lockers. The idea here would be simply to replace the lockers with a similar design and a similar footprint to what we have today. The goal would be to improve the look and character, raise the lockers off the sand, so to put them on a slab for multiple reasons. First and foremost, to protect them from the rotting that takes place by having wood below grade on sand and moisture, but also for ADA compliance. We would look to use more durable, long-lasting materials. Hardy board or a cement fiber-based siding type product would weather and wear much better than plywood. Using pressure treated lumber in all locations would ensure that those structures would have the best chance of surviving for a long time. Option 1 allows a little bit more customizable options because it is something that's constructed out of timber and it would be designed by the engineers and architects on the project.
How many lockers do we currently have and how many would be in option 1?
Bobby, current lockers?
So I think it's 66 south side. 7 on the north side.
27,
127.
127.
With the locations, this, with either option, just let us know if the locations are gonna shift. I know there are some lockers on the north side that are behind. Is that right? Is that? Yeah, are there, do we still plan to do that? That it seems to be less favorable due to like, being in the woods from people.
Yeah.
Do we still plan to put some back there?
Yes, I think that the idea is in order to maximize the space, because we are limited on space and we don't have room for expansion, we would look to generally keep the locker locations where they are today for the most part. There may be some tweaks or changes, and to the point of behind the boathouse, there's potential opportunity to improve access and conditions to that.
We'd have to do some taping back there,
Yeah.
trimming of trees. There is an option to utilize.
Explain the ADA compliance, like
Mhm.
putting it on a slab, like, does that also mean like adding hardscape?
So yeah, so the lockers would be placed on slab to get them off and above the sand level, protect them. And therefore, if one were coming, parking in the handicap spot that's down to landing, they could then access the lockers on the south beach only. They'd be able to access that because it's a flat compliant surface. Yeah. Just for context, North Beach is not a beach that needs to be ADA compliant. We need to offer ADA accessible units as an offering, and on the South Beach, that's where that is feasible. North Beach is other challenges to make it.
There's no ramp.
Yes, correct.
As long as we have one side, we're fine.
Any questions? Anything else before we look at option 2? So option 2, again, we looked into what the other options are out there. There are not many options at all that come close to meeting the current size. These prefab modular systems are factory built. They're modular. They get delivered. They get installed. They are durable. They're made out of fiberglass with the gel coats. They would come with warranty options, being manufactured and coming from a company. On both options, again, would raise the lockers off the sand onto slab. The modular system would be less customizable than the traditional. It's going to pretty much come as a shell that was shipped from the factory. It's a little more challenging to make any customizations to these lockers. They're limited in options. Again, this is really the only one that even came close to offering the type of size we need and the type of materials that were suitable. And that's one of the big differentiating factors between this and the rebuilding existing.
Is there, because I know these ones, it sounds like are smaller.
Yes.
And we have the paddle boarders, and then we have the boaters who might have different needs. Is there a way to do, is there an option to do boat or to do, some of this kind, some of the other one, or is that more expensive?
I think that blending the two,
Aesthetically.
yeah, personally,
Yeah.
blending the two aesthetically next to each other may not be a
Right, I agree
recommendation.
with that,
I
yeah.
think there might be an opportunity
Yeah,
to, if
so-
you want to
so
speak to
to
that.
your point earlier, behind the boathouse. To your point earlier, Commissioner, behind the boathouse, that environment is very damp
Yeah.
and it's kind of muddy. There might be a really good option to add some additional capacity with a locker like this up against a building versus, to Kyle's point, I think mix and matching the aesthetics, I think people wouldn't appreciate as much. I think it might create some challenges there, but this is a good option, I think, for behind that boathouse. So there may be some people that are in current lockers that may have to move to a different locker because they might be unhappy, or this one would probably wear much better in that location and add capacity, which was the original goal.
Bobby, or somebody,
Yes, Commissioner.
how many lockers are you envisioning in option 2?
How many would we need?
Yeah,
I think it's close to 200 lockers.
200.
Yeah, 175, I believe.
And what are the other communities? What's their system like? And I'm thinking specifically of Evanston's by Northwestern at Clark Street,
hmm
where they have the sailing school.
At Northwestern itself,
Well, they have like right at the bend by Sheridan Road, there's an area where you can go sailing. It's like a whole sailing aquatic center. I think you know what I'm talking
Like
about.
Yeah.
by Baha'i, the Baha'i temple?
No,
Oh.
past
The
it.
Northwestern Sailing Center.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yes.
just curious as to like, is this typical or are we deviating from the standard?
We're atypical. I am not aware of anybody other than the south coast of England that provides people with lockers like this. So when you think about it, and they've been like that for a long time. And as we all know, when you give something, it's very hard to take away.
Sure.
And they do take up quite a lot of space. But I'm not aware of anybody else who has lockers on the North Shore or surrounding communities. Back in.
Back over here. Just a kind of side-by-side comparison, again, much of what we just discussed here. Option 1 on the left, rebuild an existing, maintains the current look and character of the lakefront locker area, similar design and footprint and size for continuity for our users, opportunity to improve their appearance with using different materials, opportunity to, again, durability and lifespan with using different types of materials. The cons, again, can expand to accommodate additional lockers because we're pretty much maxed out with the current footprint, although there's a blended option that might present itself to expand slightly. And it may not provide the same durability or warranty benefits as the factory built systems. If it's constructed, it won't come with a 20-year warranty that a manufacturer might provide. And on the option 2, the pros, factory built modular units installed on site. Highly durable materials, again, fiberglass and gel coat, similar to a boat hull. Modern systems could require less long-term maintenance. There's less parts. Doesn't mean they're maintenance free, but there's less things that could potentially be requiring work. And then an opportunity to accommodate additional lockers because they are smaller. Cons, less customization, as we stated, limited options, really the only option, and size dimension constraints that may not meet all our current users' needs. And the aesthetic would change. It would be a different look than what's down there today. Cost considerations, obviously, we're always considering that. Interestingly, cost is really not a major factor here. We got a quote from the manufacturer of the modular systems and a estimate from a general contractor to reconstruct. It's within 5%. This is not one where we would say cost consideration should be a major determining factor on a roughly, again, estimates, not public bids, a $200,000 project is part of a $3.3 million project. The 5% we would say is within a reasonable range to not have to consider that as a major factor.
Is there a strong feeling from the staff what you guys prefer?
I can speak for me.
Loaded question, huh?
It's a very loaded question. I can tell you what the feedback from the community was. So the Lakefront Advisory, there was some positive feedback about the new modular system. That Commissioner Ripon was there. We showed it at the end of the meeting. People liked it. There was some concerns about gel coat and size. But when we invited the boaters in and both paddlers and sailboaters, there was concern about the size of the modular system. They are smaller. They probably would last longer, but the major concern is they would not meet the needs of boaters who provided most of the feedback. We had a couple of paddle boaters worried about paddles fitting in there. We did personally put paddles in there, life jackets, and thought there was a lot of space, but really the majority of the feedback was that boaters did not feel as a majority that they would be large enough for the equipment that they had. There was also some concerns about being able to kit them out with hanging rods and hooks and things like that, hanging wetsuits, life jackets, equipment, which were some valid concerns. It's not as easy in the modular system. We would have to have our staff rivet them, drill, rivet, hang that. So there is a little bit more on our staff for that. While traditionally over the years, boaters have retrofitted those lockers to their own spec, regardless of us allowing them or not. So that is some of the feedback we received.
So wait, did I hear correctly? So in the modular, you're saying that it doesn't fit like life jackets and like
No,
some
it
of the.
does.
Oh, it does.
It does.
Okay, thank you. I was
Life
like,
jackets and
Yeah.
paddles that break, that you can put
Sure, they
apart,
break up
but
and
maybe not full standing one.
Yeah.
I think probably for the boaters, it doesn't fit as much as their stuff that they require for
Yeah.
the sailboats and things like that.
Yes, correct.
It's sort of defeating the purpose, isn't it?
The locker, sorry, say the question.
Kind of defeating the purpose if it doesn't meet the need.
Well, that's
Correct.
for you to decide, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so that was the feedback we received from a lot of the sailboaters. We're also looking at the boat racks and the boat storage. We have to replace the existing ones. Staff does prefer on this the cube style versus the tree style. If you've been down there, we have the tree style that they fit in sideways. they're more limited in terms of what you can fit on the beach, and space is a premium. So in terms of capacity, the cube style, which is similar to this, is what will fit the most amount of vessels. And that was one of the priorities when we did the referendum, was to expand the access for residents. And we want to make sure that they're anchored correctly and securely. And we're also looking at potentially a lockable storage unit that is kind of a creative solution that might help. We heard in the survey when we did it last year that not everybody wants a locker, and actually some people, if there was a discount for their storage, they might actually give up their locker. So we're looking at ways of how do we actually get the lockers to the people who need them, and people who don't need them, then they don't have to pay for them. So we're looking at some creative solutions. So we've been working internally, and we used AI a little bit from an idea we had. So we've seen this before, actually, with boats that get trailered around. When you create a rack like this, you can put a PVC pipe in one of the corners. So you can see here on the top right, this is a copy of PVC pipe that has a lockable cap at the end. What's nice about this is if you have a rack, you can fit your kayak or stand-up paddleboard paddle in there and lock it. And for a lot of paddleboarders and kayakers, that's really a high priority. They want to make sure that's safe. They may not have the amount of equipment that a sailboat user would have. So we worked with the design team to look at this kind of option where it really wouldn't impact the size of the racks itself. It fits in pretty smoothly. If you also wanted to go out kayaking or paddleboarding, you could put a lock on there and put your valuables, your phone, your wallet in there, so you wouldn't actually potentially need a locker for those who don't need it. So that could be a very creative solution. And then from a capital investment perspective, if we have to put in 50 less lockers, it's a pretty significant capital saving for the district, or we can expand capacity to meet those needs of the community. So this is something we think is a very viable option to put in with the racks and not cost prohibitive. Yes,
Sorry,
Commissioner.
Would these be put on, what do you call it? The cement, slab as well? It looks like it, right?
So that is so Kyle, do you want to speak to?
They would be on a pier at a minimum, so a footing, so they're
Okay.
anchored. The ones that are not on the ADA compliance side could just be piers. The ones that would need to be accessible would be on a slab.
Okay.
Yeah. The site conditions are tricky there as well, with water pit mains and things like that. So
Bobby, if I'm understanding this correctly, like bigger picture, I think what I'm seeing is that there's a hybrid solution that possibly exists where you're doing all three basically, but maybe not all at the same. So like you might have the traditional ones we have because there's different needs for it, particularly for the boaters. You may have some that are for kayakers, paddle boarders. You may have some that say, I just really need something like this. I don't need a full locker.
correct.
I think that's what I'm hearing,
Yeah,
correct?
you're
Okay.
correct. Yes. So one step further, this summer, we actually are restructuring the boat storage fees. So in the past, you paid a total cost to rent the space, and that had included a locker and a sail tube. So what we asked people in the survey was, do you need it? And 50% of new potential boaters said they wouldn't need it, or they need a reduced size. So what we did was we broke down the cost of the locker and gave people the option to opt out of a locker and get a discount. So you can see here that a resident, if they wanted to add on the locker to the cost, they'd pay $125. The fee hasn't increased all that much, but if you decided to opt out of it, you'd get a $125 discount. And for a non-resident, that would be $250 charge for the lockers. So people can decide if they want it or not. If we even had 10 or 15% of people say they don't need it, that could open up 20 to 30 lockers potentially.
And these are comparable fees relative to what we're seeing in the North Shore.
Correct. Yes. In terms of overall fees, there was a 5% increase for residents, and I think a 12% for non-residents to get to that 100% increase fee for non-residents. So obviously this will help with, you pay for what you actually use. So if you don't use it, you're not paying for it. The ability to recreate becomes more affordable. And it also gives people who can't get lockers, which we have some who have storage but want lockers, that ability, and also potentially creates a capital saving for the district, or the ability to expand capacity as well. Any questions on that?
You've told us this before, but what's the breakdown between resident and non-resident in terms of the usage of?
Storage? It's about 75% residents at this point. Yeah. So the waitlist priority goes to residents, but we obviously have legacy boaters who've been with us a long time. Many actually used to live in Glencoe and have moved out. So, we want to be respectful of those people too.
And in the resident, Northbrook is counted as that, as no?
Northbrook do not get a discount on the boat storage. Good question.
That's only for beach passes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so do we have any, do we have a board discussion on the boating, boat lockers?
Lockers.
You want to start with the lockers first, and then we can talk about the racks. I think we should probably separate that.
Yes,
And do we hear?
Not
we
yet.
will
We're
after
gonna,
you have
yeah.
discussion first.
what are the thoughts?
I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking a bit differently. I just keep seeing like multiple options where it's all three. And I'd be very curious to see what that looks like. Because
I agree with Jackie.
yeah, in the current configuration, and I have one of the lockers down there, so I'm very familiar with the status of them and, the bees and like everything that goes with it and, anyway. But it's hard for me to visualize if we have traditional ones with these modular ones, with the racks, what that looks like, how it's going to like lay out between the two beaches, the north and south, and whether or not we're maximizing like the space value per se, to meet the needs of the people who are paying to use our beach, specifically for the boating, kayak, and paddle. That's where I'm at. Like, I'm just having a very difficult time without visually seeing it, but.
Well, let me ask you. I don't recommend that we would ever have two different lockers side by side.
Okay.
Like that to me is probably a non-starter for our community. I don't think they'd want to see that. And I guess what you're probably saying is sort of two options. Like, would you have, or more than two options, but it's either they're all the same lockers,
Mhm.
they're all the same that they're going to build out of timber, they're all manufactured, or it's a hybrid. And if it's a hybrid, I think you would I imagine the recommendation would be to separate that out to have
Mm.
hybrid on one side and
No,
not on the
that
other.
makes sense, yeah.
Probably do hybrid behind the boathouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where,
We did hybrid.
Yeah.
I was visualizing behind, like, not getting that many of the fabricated, I guess, only in the damp, but this, I'm just visualizing it now.
Just-
Yeah, just
yeah.
where they'd be tucked away in the more damp
Agree.
areas.
Yeah, so can you
Agree.
show us where you would, if we do a mixture, I don't think the wooden ones are probably more visible. And I'm not gonna call it hybrid, are these metal, what are these, plastic?
They're
Modular, thank you, that's a good word. Where, can you show us where you recommend the modular would go?
oh, there he goes. Do you have a pointer?
The pointer. Yeah, do you want
Yeah,
to pull it up?
Michael,
But you see-
I would imagine they're not going to be together. Like, I couldn't imagine that everything aesthetically
That's it. Little guy.
There you
Bear with us.
would be mixed in, but that's why I think I'm having such a hard time visualizing, because I would think that there's sections,
So think
some kind.
the boathouse on the north side, behind it, we have lockers there currently that are
Mhm.
deteriorating. If you put those modular
Modular.
lockers in back there, Bobby was making a point that it gets very damp back there.
Right.
And so it's hard to keep anything wood back there in good condition, but those modulars
Would work there.
probably work there and they're kind of out of the way. They wouldn't be,
They're not standing out.
yeah, exactly. So that might be a great option, just to put them back there.
Right.
So that way, aesthetically, we have if you choose the traditional boat, like they all look the same, which people could see, but then the white ones are tucked behind. That might be a good option.
And then those racks would sit on both sides of the beach,
If we have the racks,
I mean, the racks.
like
the boat racks.
the
Yeah.
cubes that they
Yeah,
were.
we
The
can
cubes.
put that one, I think we should probably think about them a little
Separately.
separately for just
Yeah,
a
right
second
now.
here and focus on the lockers, because
If we can,
we can get
There we go.
lost in this yeah, if you go to Google Maps, that may be easier.
No matter what, I really like those PVC option, like.
Isn't it a great
Yeah.
option?
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
the kayak, yeah,
Yeah.
that was great. And you
And
can
I think
also
they'll be
fit,
comfortable.
life jackets in there too.
Oh, wow.
So I think, because still life jackets for kayaks are pretty small, so we
yeah,
Okay.
you can.
probably, you have to shove them in there, but we think they get fit in there too.
So
Okay, so let's see, so the current
Yeah,
lockers
fine.
are, some of them are down there, yep.
they're banked up, I think, 20 or 18.
So each little house has 20, so you're looking at about 80 right there.
Yeah, I think it's 9 on each side, so. It's
Okay.
both sides.
So, Bobby, you really think there's 9 on each side?
Yep.
Yeah.
9 here and 9 here.
Okay.
So I think it's 18 or like, we were talking about potentially expanding to 20, so make them a little bit
Okay,
wider.
But those, and then where are the other ones that you think have the potential to be the modular?
So right behind the boathouse here, if you were to walk
Ooh, go back.
the little picture here. Yeah, so if you walk behind the boathouse here, there's a little walkway.
Yep.
That walks directly. There's a bunch of about 15 to 20 lockers that are wood, right?
Oh, that would,
15 to 20 lockers
yeah.
that are built into the back of the boathouse that are pretty significantly rotten
Yep.
due to the humidity. So what we could potentially do is put those modular lockers stretching from the back of the boathouse all the way, the current one stop here, all the way over here, take a hard turn here, here.
I like that.
Oh, wow.
All that many.
Add,
Okay.
you know, I think they're 24 inches wide, the modular
Yeah.
ones.
And then-
So 2 feet.
There are lockers, correct me if I'm wrong, all the way north as well. You'd have to move the Google map down.
Yep.
But those, you would not, I personally, I think what's on this,
Yep.
I would struggle, well, I guess those are far enough away. But I would struggle with what's on this, there's probably a deviation of what's on the sand looks the same and what's behind it. looks the same.
Mhm.
So just history, when we had high water levels, the foundations,
Terrible.
exposed.
Yeah.
and Those are to be long-term not viable. So I think.
So
what
we
we
just
could
get rid of
do-
those.
This is 40 lockers here.
Do you want me to go
Needs
back to
be,
Let me go back to the site plan. to show
yeah,
you.
you can. Those need to be combined with the ones that are further
Okay.
south because we, at some point, the water is gonna come back up and they're gonna be compromised again.
Yep.
So what you're talking about, so on that side of the beach, you could do the hybrid where now you have between that area that you just described right there. So that is probably like what, maybe 40?
Yep.
Then you've got 80.
Yep.
Then you've got another 20. So we are expanding the number of lockers, even if it's not ideal, but we are actually offering more
Potentially, if we were able to do that
Okay.
correctly.
If we needed to.
if we needed to. Yeah,
Yeah.
but like we're seeing an option of there. I don't, okay.
Do you really think you're gonna have the luxury of understanding, I guess you will, understanding what our demand is before we actually start putting these in?
We're gonna know in middle of March, starting middle of March when it
Okay.
opens up. So that was our goal, was to try figure out if there's guys. The survey results showed 50% of people would if there was a discount. Now, we didn't say how much of a discount.
Right. Okay.
But there is, I also think the racks with paddleboarders and kayakers, if you're getting that included for free.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
might just be like, I'll save the 150.
I mean, year two, you're gonna have a different feel. I mean, because
Mhm.
people will have to learn a learning curve of what it really is and what it isn't.
Exactly.
So it's gonna change year two. Which way, I don't know, but it's gonna
Right.
change.
It's very valid, yeah. But I
mean-
think if we made a decision and said, hey, we're picking this number and people gave it up, they would probably then get on the wait list for a locker.
And I think that's where I was thinking about the demand is we already have a wait list. So by.
Yeah.
We only have a wait list of,
13
13
people
on the
on the
wait list.
paddleboard and kayak on the resident.
and they're all
wait list.
paddleboard kayakers.
Okay.
So keep that in mind.
Just also, out of my vast experience of people telling me what they will do and then what they do is very different. People tell me all the time in my professional work that they would like more healthy options in, for example, our United Clubs and Lounges. And yet, all the cookies and brownies are the first to go. So we just have to be careful. That's a tomorrow problem. But I think, I definitely want to hear from the folks to my right, but it sounds like there is a viable option to have party board wood on the sand
Yeah.
and then surrounding the boathouse, the perimeter of the boathouse in the back and side could be using the modular type. Is that, I don't want to put words in people's
I
mouths. but-
like that for now, and we'll listen to the community,
Yeah.
but right now I really like that.
Okay.
I mean, the most important.
On the south side of the
Yeah.
beach would be the timber,
Right.
Only timber.
only timber.
Yeah.
So that's where we're leaning towards
Gary?
now.
I mean, the most important thing is these lockers have to be efficient. If they're not usable and
Right.
people can, then it doesn't matter what it looks like to me. You know,
Agreed.
it needs, so that's the number one priority and anything can be retrofitted to made to look good. I think
Yeah.
we all have homes, we figure out, how to do that. These are professionals who can do this. I don't think this is that complicated.
It's not, I think.
And it's a huge area too, that you can,
Yeah.
really, it's not like people to me, some eyesore, we're gonna build nothing, we're not gonna build anything, it's an eyesore.
But I think there's that fear of, my house needs to have 6 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms for 4 of us. When in reality, you'd be okay with 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And that kind of mental feel of, holy cow, I have all this, but I'm only gonna get that later. There's a.
Yeah, for
look,
sure.
I
You're
am
gonna step
not
backwards, yeah.
concerned about, you know, look, I'm not concerned about, can you fit, the life jackets that you need, the things that you need in there. I'm not concerned. Where I do think you're gonna have concern are the people who put tents in there and chairs in there and all of their boats equipment in there and all of their tools in there. I think those are limited people and they'll probably stick with the timber lockers.
Mhm.
But I think the majority of people probably don't have 6 life jackets in there for every Tom, Dick, or Harry. That's for every different sizes, right?
Yeah, this is
I
not,
think it'll be,
I was like, I do.
not a full
well,
service.
you, like, look,
You could probably get
But,
maybe
like,
one
I
of
do
those
as well,
modular
right?
if you
I
have
have-
handle and.
no, I have a
I
kid
think
life
that's
jacket,
the
right? You-
option of hybrid.
You're gonna
just
have that.
For the kid life jackets.
There
too,
are
100%,
people who
yeah.
want
But
full
the
service.
vast,
And they can pay for it.
yeah, I think,
Yeah,
I
but
think giving
then
people
you pay more
options,
for it, yeah.
I think we'll be fine.
What do they do, Bobby, what do they do in the south of England?
What do they actually sell them that people get changed in them. They keep their beach chair and they get actually a changing room. So that's what
Oh,
they do.
wow.
If you've ever seen them, and they're all various colors. So,
I want
So
that.
cute.
yeah,
Oh, maybe we
Cornwall,
do the
places like
various
that.
colors.
So
Okay,
very
so,
popular.
so it sounds.
Are they
like
the
we have-
opposite side of the beach though?
Sounds like we have a little bit of a consensus on kind of that theory there. Let's chat about the kayaks and the racks. I think, yeah,
On North Beach, they're generally where they are currently.
Yep.
On the far north end. On South Beach, you can see the depiction of the lockers is closest to the asphalt drive, and then the racking systems abut those to the left, Bobby, right by the cart barn. The racks are to the
Nope, to the,
east.
yeah,
Yep,
there you go.
Yep, east of the lockers. Yep, so lockers are west, close to the asphalt drive, and then the
Yep.
cubbies back up to
and
them.
the existing storage shed is where all the sales are,
Yes.
correct? Yeah. So behind that,
Cart.
and the golf cart, that's true. I mean, I'll start off. I thought those modular, I want to call them Tinker Toys because they look like Tinker Toys to me. But the Tinker Toy
Boat rack.
structure, boat rack, I think is great.
Mhm.
I like the idea that you have the tubes there. I don't quite understand how you can lock your oar up in that too, because I think you have to stick out a little bit, but,
Huh. It's long enough.
Go,
Where
they
they
split,
come
split in
apart
half,
yeah,
Yeah.
split in half.
yeah. Yeah, I just don't understand how that part of the oar fits in there, but you're telling me it does.
Pretty,
They-
yeah,
they
it's pretty
10 or
wide.
12-inch diameter
Yep.
PVC pipes, and you can
Yeah.
go bigger than that, so.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, I think those are,
Mhm.
those are great. I personally hate the wood because I do think it splinters. I do think it tough. I think these will last longer.
Mhm. Absolutely.
They probably don't have that same sort of rustic look of a timber beach, and I think we'd have to overcome that. But I'm not fundamentally opposed to
A
it.
small suggestion, and maybe they already take care of it, is PVC pipe is not attractive. So it has to be painted or it comes in a different color.
You can get a higher schedule PVC that is like a dark gray, almost a black color.
There you go.
That's probably the easiasiest solution.
I think it's a no-brainer because I think white PVC pipe is
Yeah.
gonna, you're gonna see that and that's gonna be your eyesore.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah,
give
the
that
image
direction.
of the first one, and if it had the darker PVC, I think that I actually find it a visual improvement over the wood one. The wood ones we have now, I don't think are cute or anything, they're wood, but they're very utilitarian. I don't think they're that attractive.
Yeah, I don't think they're attractive, but it's not,
But it's a
it's not
change.
never,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You've got a wooden, everything down there is wood. And so it kind of, not attractive wood, but it's all kind of consistent. This would be a little bit of a shift. I'm totally fine with it, especially, look, there are sacrifices out there and sometimes we have to sacrifice to help the community get, more storage. It's a little bit easier
I
to.
think it's,
It's actually a PVC pipe that's over the metal. So when you roll,
Mm.
Rolls with it. That's so much nicer.
Oh, my God, yeah.
So nice to pull it out.
Yes.
Although, yeah, we got.
And all three
sure, Sand doesn't get in the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah.
as I mentioned before, it's a huge area. It's just not gonna be this like, the boats are like this, boats are what you see. It's not the,
Yeah.
it's not the
Oh,
racks.
yeah.
Right.
And these are behind the storage bin visually when you come down the
Yeah.
beach, right? They're behind them on
Yeah.
the south side.
They'd be, let's see if I can zoom in again. So they'd be, if you're walking down the ramp, you would be looking at the lockers.
Yeah.
Go over it, looking at the lockers and then behind them would be the racks. You wouldn't have, first thing you see be these racks, it would be
Yeah.
the cladded.
And then you have the lockers. There's only that little walkway between, and if you get the yardstick between them, so you really don't even see them from the lake side either.
Mhm.
So that's where they are.
Okay.
Are we feeling comfortable about this, team?
No
Go
brainer.
back one more. We're
Oh,
gonna,
sorry.
we're gonna do
Let's-
open comment now.
Yeah, let's do
Oh.
comments from the public on this. In this way, if the public has a desire to speak on the sun shelters, they can stay. If not, they can go. So it is our practice not to address questions. You certainly can ask them. We may not answer them, but it is our practice to not address questions at this time. However, we will take comments under advisement regarding the boat lockers. Is there anybody who would like to make a verbal comment at this time? If so, please limit
Right there at the corner, right there.
3 minutes.
When does my time start?
Your time starts when you say the first word. How's that?
I'll keep the timer.
Thank you, everybody, for having us here. I'm a boater. I'm also an employee, a part-time employee of the Park District. As a sailing instructor, I've been a boater here for, since 1999. I've seen 3 different types of lockers, 2 types come and go or about to go. There's one of the paddle boarders here also, just a couple of comments. I appreciate everybody's hard work on this. It looks like you thrashed it around pretty good. I really feel it's important. I don't need that. It's important, the space important. The space is important. We originally started with a 3x3, 9 square foot locker. We're down to a 2x2, 4 square foot locker. We're going to, by my measurement, to about a 3 square foot locker, 25% reduction, more than 50% originally. PFDs, life jackets. I'll put 3 or 4 in there. Grandkids, kids, and crew members. I'll put wetsuits in there. 1 or 2 for crew members, harnesses. There's a lot of gear that goes into a locker for a boater to make this a safe operation. Weather changes, it's Lake Michigan. How's my time doing?
You're good.
Okay. We need the space. Boaters need the space. So my top priority is not to take another reduction in space. Now, I love those guys down there. They look great. They're very attractive. But the next thing is, and Bobby touched on this, the hanging rod. The hanging rod is critical to hang your stuff up after you come in to dry out. Otherwise, we're going to be dealing with a lot of mold problems down there. God knows black mold in those things or whatever, and the plastic ones, I mean. The wood breathes, the wood ventilates, and there's 6 more inches of rod to hang your stuff up on. I feel the space is very, very important and the customization factor. Check my notes here. Trapeze harnesses, wetsuits, gloves, you name it. You indicated there's not a larger version of the modular, which is sad because I liked it otherwise. A 2x2 or a 2x3 would be great. I don't know of a single boater who supports the modular system. It's very, very simple. I haven't talked to anybody who likes the plastic one. If it was larger, maybe they would, but we need the space. We need to hang stuff up. We'd like to put our tools in there. And like I said, I like to bring guests down. It's not just me on the boat. You want to be able to equip your crew members, the kids, the grandkids, whatever. So I strongly stand in support of option 1. Thanks for your hard work.
Thank you.
I believe we have
You still have 30 seconds if you'd like to
30 seconds
continue.
left.
I yield my time.
How many people can you fit on a typical boat then?
A typical boat?
Yeah.
Well, there is
Down there.
there is a
That
typical
you're seeing at Glencoe Beach.
4, 5, or 6. I could put 6 on my boat, but typically you.
Adults?
Yeah, adults. Well, heck, I'm a sailing instructor here, part-time
Right.
sailing instructor. And we were putting 6 on those getaways down there. That means 6 life jackets plus instructor 7.
Okay, we're going to move on. Eric,
There's a question.
I hear you. Eric, we're going to move on to the next
Any other
speaker.
questions? You had a good one earlier.
Eric, we're going to move on to the next speaker. Thank you. You should be hopefully loud enough. The mic will pick it up, so you don't have to bend down. I realize that Erica is also helping out with that. But if we have another speaker, you are free to start when you like.
Hello, I'm Vita. I'm Glencoe resident. I am a paddle boarder and a boater as well. I do have 1 locker, and my locker is packed. And when you said about the house, you have a house with 6 bedrooms. If I get a house now with 4 bedrooms, I'm in trouble. So space is very important. Like to me, I think it has to be functional. I mean, you'll give me a locker that I cannot make it functional from, like Eric was saying, to hang everything to dry and to have space to dry. It's not functional. So for us, it doesn't work. I mean, at this time, I don't even consider bringing chairs. I wish I could have a locker enough, big enough, because I have stuff for, paddleboard and the boat. I don't have enough space for the chairs. So, when I look at the locker that's fabricated, it's to me, it's big no-no. And it looks to me, I like the idea that placing it behind. I know the area where it's very damp. I think that's fantastic idea for that kind of locker. But to lose aesthetic for Glencoe Beach and have lockers that look like belong in the gym, I think that would be a huge disservice. So ventilation is also a big issue. I don't know if that locker has a ventilation. And yeah, I think aesthetically, even I would say maybe have a consideration for the racks. I mean, it looks industrial. There is so many new materials nowadays that we have that it's not wood. It's Trek or Trex, or it looks like wood, but it's not wood. I think it would be more appropriate for Glencoe, just my opinion. So not to look so industrial, because the racks look with PVC pipe or something like that. We live in a wonderful community, and to have this like eyesore, you come in, and I think we can do better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your
you.
comments. Do we have any other residents, any other people that would like to speak tonight?
Non-residents, anybody?
Anybody?
Okay.
Eric said it all. Okay. Well, thank you, Eric. Actually, I think it would be, if we could just real quickly talk about maybe answering two of the questions. One is the size of the modular is 2x2, or what is the size of the plastic ones again?
I'm pretty sure 2x2 is accurate. I don't have the exact
Okay.
dimensions in front of me. It is definitely smaller.
No,
Sorry?
no,
Oh.
Eric, but
It-
Eric,
it's-
this is not how it works, but thank you. We can research that, and
I can
we should
provide-
get back to the community.
Yes, I can provide the exact dimensions. Yes.
Perfect. Let's get back to the community on that. And then in terms of ventilation, is there a ventilation in the modular ones?
There is ventilation, yes.
Good.
It seems to be a little different. The boaters like how the current ones are vented through the roof.
Yeah.
This one has ventilation on the back,
Back.
on the side.
Yeah. I do think whatever we do decide, it is important for us to recognize the safety aspect of it. And I don't want to discourage people from having the life jackets that they need, or the equipment that they need to operate safely. So I think we just need to have that in the back of our minds as we're moving forward. But I appreciate the presentation, appreciate the community's input, and we can get back on some of the questions that were asked. Okay, should we move on?
Yep.
Should we move on to the,
So is there any
Sun
change
shelters.
from the consensus from the board based on public comment? Do
me-
you still like the
I think
boat
that,
locker traditional for most of it and then fabricate behind the building? Is that?
I think that works, because I think it gives people the option that we should continue. The timber option would be also 2x2 or be 3x2? If we were to-
The size of
the size of the wooden?
the wooden.
It would match
locker.
exactly what's out there today.
Okay, so
That's
that's
it.
kind of a nice way where the people who feel very passionate about the size could have, it's a possibility they keep the same size. And for those that are not using it, they could downgrade to the modular.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's good. That's a good win.
Good direction. Thank you.
I do think the resident brought up an interesting point, though. Is there other material that we should look at to, I know you said we could do black. I think it was you that said we could do black instead of white, but is there anything other material that could be more
For the
into-
racks?
For the physical racks,
For the cubby racks?
Should we look in?
for the kayaks?
we
The
could,
cubby racks, yeah. The cubbies, not the trees.
Yes.
You want
Yeah,
us to
cubbies.
cubbies.
I
Okay.
think the cubbies, I think are more, you get more out of the cubbies, and you can also use.
So you like the cubby design? You want us to go back and see if there's any other material?
Yeah.
we can get that
We
information.
can,
and cost
take that
differences.
information, ask the
Yeah.
architects.
Yeah, and
to
ask
see
them
if there's anything.
I'd like to see it in the darker color too. Maybe that will help
Maybe
us.
see it in the
Remind me
darker.
again,
If they
what is
had
the
a
purpose
white-
of the cubbies?
That's
It's a
where the
little lock
boat,
area.
the boats go in.
If they had a.
Can you go
pure
back to the
white
cubbies, please?
Too, like, not, so I feel like this
Oh, no.
might be not as well received, the aluminum
Sure.
look. But if it was either dark or light.
Sure.
So potentially like in the creams, whites, or like the dark grays, blacks?
Yeah. We can see what the options are and what the,
You said there's.
Or
the- if
material?
If there is a. base.
yeah, we can see what options are and what the
Yeah.
cost
think
deltas
that-
would be.
Sorry, I just want to, I think, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think the concept of having the cubbies is better than the current
Trees,
offer,
yes.
the trees. I mean, right now we do have some wooden cubbies on the side, but we do have the trees by the locker. So I think this is a better, I think people think that this is a better option. Can we expand upon it and see how we can make this more
Visually
aesthetically?
appealing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll report back. We don't have to make decisions tonight, so that's good, just good feedback.
Appreciate that. And again, appreciate the feedback from the community. Thank you for joining us today.
Right.
And we can move on to the sun shelters.
So, all right, 30 ugly boats.
Okay, next we want to talk about the sun shelter furniture discussion. Obviously, the sun shelter has already been chosen. Now we're going to go to the furniture. You shut that off.
So we have a couple furniture options to discuss here tonight related to the sun shelters. We've obviously gone through the major discussion around and design of the sun shelters themselves. So we want to talk a little bit about the options for the tables as well as the benches. So there's two different things to discuss. There's the built-in option, which is the benches that surround two sides of the sun shelter. And then there's we'll call it freestanding bench, which is along the eastern side of the picnic table. We call it freestanding, but it would be anchored. We would recommend anything that's down in the sun shelters is anchored. We have seen stuff move. We have seen stuff end up in the lakes, and we would like to make sure that we minimize any chance for that to happen. So option A, let me get the laser pointer going just to walk through this. So option A has essentially a square bench. It has wood slats, natural wood, that would align the southern and western sides of the sun shelters. The backing would be the wall that's built in place. And then on the, you would have the table, and then the freestanding bench would be on this side. So it provides opportunity for users to sit along both of the southern and eastern walls, as well as the freestanding but anchored bench. And then there's additional space for freestanding chairs, folding chairs, as well as ADA accessibility for a wheelchair. That's option one, or excuse me, option A. Option B, same general concept built into the wall. This one sits atop of the wall and provides a backrest that's built out of the lumber material. The differences here are obviously the backing being made out of wood, being part of the bench versus being the concrete wall. In this option, the concrete wall is wider but slightly shorter. In option A, the concrete wall is slightly taller but narrower. The freestanding bench.
I'm not following this.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
sorry. Yeah, please
Thank
please stop me. Yeah.
People magazine, like spot the difference.
Okay.
Wait, hold on a second. Go
And
to,
I'm struggling.
Kyle, can you go to
No,
where
I-
the two
I see
options
the
are there?
Sure, the side by side.
At the
A
side
and
by
B and
side.
one-
There
Yeah,
you
no.
go.
Otherwise
Thank you
it's
for
the
stopping me.
backing.
I'll go
But it
side by
took
side.
me a while.
All right. Okay. So side by side, option A, the backrest is the
Cement,
wall.
okay.
Can you
Alright.
point, do you
Yeah,
have the point?
I see it
Can you
now.
Go up and just
Yeah.
point out what they're saying. So that has a back.
Option B has a backing. The bench is built onto the wall.
Yep.
Option A, the bench sits in front of the wall, and the wall is used as the backing.
Oh,
And the wall cement.
Wall cement, yes. In both options, the wall cement is part of the design,
but it's the back.
but it's the backing.
No,
You can put,
sorry.
But-
wait, can I just say one other thing? You can put wooded slats on option A on the back and not go above that concrete wall. So you could, bring that wood up the back. So you're not laying on concrete. You could be on wood slats on the back.
Yeah,
So
no
just
one,
so you know.
I don't know a person who wants to lean against cement.
I agree.
I
Anybody
agree.
else disagree with me?
I agree. So we did ask, and we couldn't put it in the drawings because we had to answer today. We could do wood slats on the option A on the back where the people have their back. So we could put those wood slats that
Right,
lead up
right.
there, which
Okay.
would, then, that was our concern too. That could take
Yeah.
away that concrete look. Or you could have full back on option B.
call it
If we did the slats that went up on option A,
Mhm.
would they stop before the edge or would they cover the edge?
They could do either one.
Okay, because I'm just thinking also
It's a-
like
it's more of a
banging heads. I don't know, makes me nervous with the concrete.
Good point. Like for kids.
With the wooden slats,
Sort of
it becomes the same
kids.
thing.
I think you're
No.
probably gonna, the higher up well, I'll be silent for a second. Meg, you want to say something?
No, I was just gonna say, if you're worried about that, the higher one probably is better, because
Yeah.
otherwise they're just gonna be crawling up over the thing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
That's a
Yeah.
good point.
I think this is hard because what's currently down there in terms of what's behind the wall is so different from this. It's
Mhm.
like gnarly bushes and sticks and.
We're taking that out and putting grasses. So what you
Oh,
see
so
there
we
is the
moving, so it
plantings
will
we're
be
doing.
Yeah.
like that.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that was, when we were
We'll
discussing.
cut them back. They're not going to be, oh, sorry.
That's
I don't know what that is.
when we were discussing.
What's the time? You're done.
Like how to do something in between, the idea of tall grasses.
Yep.
Were,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
I also, I agree 100% with Gary. I don't think people voluntarily lean against concrete. The other nice thing, or maybe it's not such a nice thing, is you will see the tall back of the bench be used as a wonderful place to dry your towel. That could be, I kind of like that.
I do too.
But I also think about the wetness on wood. Hopefully it's hardy boarded.
Yep.
Here, but
I wouldn't be too worried about the towel.
Okay,
It's a-
good.
yeah,
Looks fine.
outdoor design for outdoors.
But I think that's what you're gonna end up seeing. I think on a hot day, you're gonna
You're
see
right.
people drape their towels over
Yeah,
that
for sure.
and make it a little bit more comfy.
I agree.
It also gives a little more privacy, to be
Yeah.
honest, because you're in there and you're like, privacy, a little privacy. And there's still room to put your lawn chairs, beach chairs in front and on the sand area. So remember, there's a sand area on the side too.
Mhm.
That's part of this with the grill and everything.
I do also highly recommend, and you already said it, everything should be bolted down.
Yes.
Thank you.
Things
Yes.
disappear.
100%.
People move stuff around, and actually, I don't even think things disappear as much as I think when people move things around, they break, and that becomes expensive to fix.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then they do end up in the lake.
They do end up in the lake, I'm sure.
Yeah. So,
I love the fact that you've got ADA for one person. It does concern me a little bit that you really only have ADA for one, if you don't think things move. Do we think there's a need for 2 wheelchairs?
From a compliance standpoint, we just need to make sure that there's accessible
Okay.
elements. It would involve more concrete, honestly. We'd have to make a larger pad.
I mean,
There is room over it. I mean, I know that you're not at the table, but
Yeah,
there is.
there's
for-
definitely
yeah.
room. I just don't want to make people feel excluded, but I think we're being considerate of that here, so.
It sounds like option B for the built-in benches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty-
Um,
and can you go back
the-
to the material right there weathers through
Yep.
the years
So
and
this-
it looks really nice as it
Mhm.
weathers.
Yeah.
So it's natural material that will
Yeah.
weather, just to make you aware.
Do you have option 1 and option 2 here? I am spotting the difference between the
The
bench
benches.
with like a solid block underneath it
Yep.
versus.
So that was part 2, and
Okay.
hopefully a simpler visualization here. Really, option 1 for, again, the freestanding bench, hopefully right here, where you see this bench or this bench. The question is, does the board prefer the more boxed in look that's completely wrapped in the wood slats, or more of a standard bench that has the same wood slats from aesthetics right here? One is solid, so you wouldn't be able to put stuff under it or kick your feet back. The other one
I
has
think
legs.
I think open, you're gonna have storage issues and
Yeah. I think
Opens-
open.
open-
Block, but I
open.
can be overruled.
open for a variety of reasons. There's no advantages
What?
to the
The box.
boxed in unless it's maybe in a slightly slight aesthetic, but there's a lot of advantages to being
like the
open, I
block,
think.
But I don't care. They're both good options. I like the block, but I'm happy to be overruled.
I like the open, just, I think it's more comfortable.
Agreed.
Or like swinging your legs and stuff and.
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
them.
Let you put your legs where you want to put them, and allows you to use it for storage, you know,
Okay.
I think it's kind of a no-brainer.
So option B for the built-ins and the open freestanding.
Yes.
bench.
Is that correct?
Yes.
That's great.
I think that's all we have for the site furniture.
That sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, You want any public comment? Does anybody want to make public comments on this? Sure, come on up. John, can you put your, it's great. It's pretty, isn't it? It's like a-
Good evening. I'm Harvey Plonsker. I've been sailing off the Glencoe Beach since 1974. And I want to tell you that the current lockers that we have are just about the minimum that are acceptable. It's 2 feet by 2 feet, 4 square feet. You're proposing lockers, if you buy the pre-made ones, that are 2 feet by 1.5. That is really not enough space to put all the things that you need in a locker. It's just not possible. I think you can't possibly think about anything but redoing the lockers that you have now that are 2 by 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
the size of locker would remain the same as this is currently, right?
Replaced with the wood?
Yeah.
Yes, they'd be.
Exactly the same.
And I think, not to address your question specifically, but to address, I think, everybody, I'm hoping that the goal, and again, we're not finalizing things tonight, but I'm hoping that the goal is to give optionality out there. And, it is what we currently have may work for some, but it does not work for all. And there are people out there who want lockers and may not want the space. There's people who want bigger ones. And so hopefully this hybrid approach is something that the community can get behind. But let us crunch some numbers and take a look at it. And we can incorporate all of the feedback there, but I think we're going to end up with a place where you have options.
Excellent. Thank you. Very good discussion. Appreciate it.
Okay. Well, thank you all for the matters of the public. We're going to move on to a regularly scheduled program. So I would like to move on to the financial report with 11 months of the fiscal year complete. John, please enlighten us with the financial report and we can ask questions after.
Great. Thank you, President Covey. Good evening, board.
For those, and sorry, John, for those that that was the last opportunity to speak as matters of public, you are more than welcome to stay to this riveting conversation. But if you do want to depart, we completely understand as well.
So we are close to the finish line on our fiscal year. It is February 28th. So we're getting prepared for our year-end close and annual audit that'll ensue shortly thereafter. But focusing on the financial report for January, where we're standing in terms of cash basis through January 31. Just focusing, looking at the rec department programming, we're about 16% higher in revenue, and our split between revenue and expenditures is right on par with where it was last year, right around 50%. Children's Circle, we did see we're at about a 19% increase in revenue, which is great. Obviously, the penguins and polar bears are playing a role in that. And also, as we look at expenditures on the flip side, our staffing has just been stickier this year, which is great. We've been struggling with staffing for years down in Children's Circle and really district wide. And we're starting to see staff become more sticky. And as a result, expenditures for salaries are a bit higher. So our margin for Children's Circle, even though we have 19% higher revenue, is $309,000 compared to $323,000 in the prior year. Fitness continues to be strong this year. No pun intended there. Beach and boating, right on par with where we're expecting to be in terms of our projections. Just have some expenditures trickling in for the remainder of the year. Want to spend a little time on Weinberg this month. We're really obviously into the heart of our operation now, so just wanted to spend a couple minutes on that one. So definitely not going to set any records this year from a financial perspective. Not disastrous by any means either, but we have had better years at the rink here. So various factors go into that. Obviously, weather and other things. Aging mechanicals down at the ice rink to contribute to expenditures. So we see revenue about flat from the prior year, 237 to 238. And a pretty good jump in expenditures. And really, as I kind of analyzed them, there wasn't any one specific category. It was just kind of a contribution from all different object codes in terms of expenditures. Starting with salaries, as I mentioned, similar to Children's Circle, we've just had better success with particularly our part-time managers. So we've had better staffing from that perspective. And then the rest of the difference is really split between capital, contractual, and utilities. So utilities is about 12,000 of that variance. And again, very heavy weather dependent. Certainly these warm days that we're having are not going to have a good impact. The compressors are running full speed, full power on. So we'll see the results of that at the end of the season also. And then some smaller variances as it relates to contractual, and then capital expenditures that kind of go in again to that aging mechanical setup that we have down at the rink. But again, all in all, we're, not looking too bad compared to our budget. And, we're optimistic that, we'll get things in the different direction moving forward to next year. As far as G&A, pretty level, very small variance year over year. Parks, we've talked about the Shelton Park paving. That's the main difference there. And then finally, just in terms of rec admin and take-if admin, just want to point out that we're still a little behind last year. Through 131, we were at 86% of our property tax levy collection. So we're getting there. And then we're keeping an eye on things for the end of the fiscal year. Obviously, we need the cash flow. And then if we don't get it, that causes us some financial reporting difficulty when we have a different levy year now dipping into the next fiscal year. So keeping a close eye on that and hoping to get up to the high 90% by the end of this month. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that y'all may have.
Yeah, I 2 comments. The Children's Circle, look, that's something that we made a conscious decision to invest in Children's Circle, to invest in letting Glencoe have an opportunity to give, especially to working parents, cost conscious opportunities to send their kids to daycare. And so I'm not surprised the numbers are going down. Weinberg will have to probably delve into. I don't think the trend can continue like this. It is something we've always going to invest in. I think I don't ever see Weinberg, with the exception of the COVID years, I don't think Weinberg has ever kind of been in the black.
No, he hasn't.
But
Is it weather?
It's a
Weather-
huge issue.
weather's a huge issue.
I was gonna say
Yeah, this was a
January
bad
was
winter.
so cold that my kid
Yeah.
didn't want to
Too
skate.
cold
And now
or
it's all,
too warm.
now it's, there were like, there was 1 or 2 good weeks.
But if I think of Weinberg correctly, let me know if I'm wrong here, but when I think of Weinberg, there's 2 components to it. There's the real estate component of it, which is we have this building and it's multi-purpose because we have after school care, you can rent it out, it's serves the community. So like if we stopped all winter operations, we would still be operating that, right?
Absolutely.
And then there's the winter operations, which to Gary's point is weather related. So I think the question that always sits in my head with Weinberg, and as it does whenever it's weather related, is are we leveraging the fixed asset correctly so that it is benefiting the entire community?
Yeah, and I think the answer to that is a resounding yes. What we have summarized in the report is just the ice operation
Right.
strictly. So
Right,
you look
so
at that
the
rec
number-
programming.
Sorry,
That's
John. The
Sure.
number on here is just the ice operation.
Completely
The
the ice.
recreational component gets pushed
Pushed
up
up.
into recs. And so you've expanded the room. The place is now 80% bigger with the upstairs, but Weinberg doesn't get credit for that.
Right. So, but I just want to be clear because like while winter operations might need to change or we need to think of it so that it's not bleeding, as a whole, Weinberg sir is multi-purpose.
100%.
Yeah.
Bringing in more
Yes.
money.
Yep.
Weinberg is doing well. It's the winter.
It's the ice. Yep.
And even on a week like this week,
But-
it's hard.
But yeah, as you mentioned, it's totally subject to the winter. So if you're
Yeah.
really cold or really warm, which this winter has not been ideal at all.
Yeah.
And the reality is too that there are expenditures. Certainly, there's estimates, and when
Yeah.
we're not getting into each fixed expenditure and allocating this piece to recreation programs, and so if, my feel is that Weinberg, the ice operation probably absorbs a little more of what would probably could be rec programming, not to a significant amount, but that's another aspect of it.
I think what would be interesting to understand of winter operations from a finance perspective is like of the program we have now, how did that compare to say a couple of years ago or even before we renovated Weinberg, and looking at it more from like a financial lens as opposed to like how many, what kinds of programs we offered? Meaning, is there something that can be done with pricing? Is there something that could be done to increase like leagues? Is there broom ball? Like, is there a different way to try to increase the volume, knowing that winter is always going to be a factor?
Great question. I think we need to evaluate the pass holder model this spring. We've already internally discussed it. We do not feel it is revenue maximizing at this point. So pricing wise, it's expensive for passes.
Yeah.
It is. In terms of ice, we are seeing less rentals than in the past. If you look at a deeper dive into this, pass holder revenue and daily admissions is down about $10,000. Ice rentals is up. That's where they've kind of balanced out. We need to look going into next season at what our pass model looks like. Not sure what that is yet, but we need to do a deep dive.
And we'll do at the end of the Weinberg season, just like the end of beach season, we do a report on Weinberg. So we'll do a little more discussion on it at that time.
One thing to keep in mind too is with West School and South School, we also provide those free day. I mean, it's like a great community thing
Yeah.
where our kids like for Valentine's and it's free for the community.
Well, and
And
the
you guys
kindergarten.
like, and the kindergarten lessons. So that's a really big value for the community.
Absolutely. It's a community asset. It's
Right.
our
It is.
districts are
It
supposed to
is.
provide that. So
Yeah.
it's one of those that we know are going to lose money, but it's something that is an asset for the
I hear
community.
you. I just want to make sure we're keeping our eye on it.
Yep.
Weinberg's also, it's not just weather. Believe it or not, Weinberg goes up and down with the Blackhawks.
Oh, it absolutely
Oh,
does.
For sure.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
And so the Blackhawks
Olympics,
have
it
been,
might go up a little bit.
Right.
Next
I
year.
was
for the
gonna say
Olympics.
with curling, I know we had that.
that curling thing on that
Was
was
it
so
popular?
damn cute.
Okay, because maybe we could
Actually,
gauge
we're
if
already-
it's fun to
we're
do
already
a
talking
curling
about that.
class for kids.
We're actually already
Okay.
talking about that.
Okay.
For next year.
So before we get too far down, it's just something to keep an eye on.
It's going off.
Weinberg is a community
Olympian.
gym. We will continue to invest in it, but it'll be nice to take a deep dive when the season's over. So appreciate that.
And yes, we are looking at putting curling permanently in the studio rink, but not just for kids, for adults too.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah.
I'm really into curling this year.
I'm sure the curling club of Chicago across from the I-94 will be happy to
Be a little different.
help. Okay, it sounds like we don't have any other questions on finance. We're feeling good. So I would like to move on to the executive director report.
Okay, in the essence of time, if you have any additional questions, I'm just going to bring a few things up. The rink will be closing on March 1st this year. Don't really have many rentals after that point, so it's infeasible to stay open. So it's, believe it or not, coming down to the end of the
2 weeks.
the Weinberg season and just bring that to a close. So 2 weeks, I think. Yep. So it'll be a great end to the season. So hope for good weather next couple weeks. If you haven't been by the greenhouse, the structure is
It's so
complete,
Yeah.
but we still have electricity, plumbing, stuff like that to finish in the spring, but just go by and look at it. It's gonna be a beautiful asset. We're already working on a task force for the greenhouse operation, so thank you, Commissioner Cummins, for heading that up. So we're looking forward to that. The maintenance building is also coming along very well. We have a couple walls, so probably within a week, 2 weeks, you'll see walls and we'll start moving inside. Starting about March 1st, Kyle, correct? We're going to be taking down those other white buildings. So kudos to Kyle and his team. They've been really working in cramped conditions and it's about to get really worse for them. So we really appreciate their patience as they be flexible through the construction site. So you'll see those buildings come down pretty soon as we finish up construction. We'll do a more deep dive into the take-up field at our March committee about take-up and the planning and timing of the field. But we expect that to be up and running by
May 1st, the
May
goal has
1st. And that's been communicated to GBA and it's as it has been the whole time. So that's just a little update for that. The spring guide is done in here. It should be in your mailboxes any day now. Like you said, we
actually like to know when it gets in your mailbox, so please tell us.
Don't think it has hit my mailbox yet.
Okay, good. But any day.
I'll have to look.
So as the team talked about, we work months in advance from those going out. So it's a very long process. So thanks to Aaron and team, it's 6 months they're planning ahead. It's always like you're planning summer in the winter and winter in the summer. So
Do you envision always doing those catalogs?
yes, we actually tried.
The electric version.
We actually tried that and a lot of park districts have, and we tried it for a little bit.
We tried it during COVID because
Yeah.
everything was so.
COVID, yeah.
Yeah.
People love their brochures to look at now. We don't put as much detail as we used to, put everything in there, but they like just to look at a catalog and pick it out. And we do surveys.
We
and we'll
also
do another
have an
survey and then-
electronic version of it.
You won't know till you try it.
Everyone wants to see
We
their
tried
prices.
it. It was, I took a hit to our programming and we asked surveys, questions, would you want to get rid of the brochure? The majority was no. We'll keep on asking that question as
Yeah, 'cause
trends
obviously with
change.
the QR codes, but obviously your phone's much more challenging.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
community,
And just saying, it's just,
I know.
my business, we stopped doing.
Yeah,
that years ago.
there is an
Maybe it's still like-
absolute reason why your mailboxes are still full. It's incredible how
Yeah.
it works with the demographics.
Yeah, you're right.
We did try it, I remember, and it was not bueno.
My community doesn't do it. I find it hard to find information on their website. So,
Okay.
yeah.
But we'll keep on evaluating
Yeah,
that, but
appreciate it.
as right
It's
now.
something we definitely track and trend and
Yeah.
watch. But yeah, it is a really good piece.
Yeah.
And it hits every single mailbox as opposed to a website where we can't.
No, I don't think it's a bad idea. I was just asking your opinion on the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
You know, it's such a target.
We thought it would,
audience,
yeah,
so
people were like, oh, they won't want this, and they really did, so. Kids like to look through them
They
and.
don't. And if you're the one doing the sign up, you like having the hard copy.
Mhm.
Right.
It's like with the flags and the circles.
Yeah, I believe that too. I'm old school. I like to look at a catalog and then I go on and order on the website, but you know, so.
I still read the newspapers.
There you go. I do like to do. We do have a legislative breakfast this Friday, so Commissioner Cummins and Guzman, hopefully get you in. Sent the email already, are representing the Park District along with myself. So thank you for doing that. That's a great opportunity to talk to our representatives. Just really quick, I put in the community group stipends. I talked about it at the budget meeting also, but GGHP, we usually give a $5,000 stipend. Glencoe Youth Service, $5,000 stipend, and Family Services of Glencoe, a $2,000 stipend. That isn't in addition to in-kind services, which is plentiful. So when you talk about the beach bass and skating, those kind of things, Nate works with them a lot about using his expertise and his knowledge and helping them. So along with our in-kind services, we provide those, and we're happy to. We support their program initiatives that meet our mission. So they're a great organization. So those will be in the budget when you approve those. Any questions on that? I think that's all I have in just the sake of time.
Okay. Well, perfect. I do not think we need to go into executive session, but just want to double check.
You do.
Oh, we do. Okay, we do.
My evaluation.
That's right, evaluation. Okay.
But we have to do action items first.
Action items. So, thank you. I got a little bit lost here. If any item was pulled, I entertain a motion to approve Resolution 984 for Shannon, professional recognition, and Resolution 985 for Bobby Collins, recognition as presented.
So moved.
Who's it?
Discussion? No, roll call vote.
Commissioner Covey,
Absolutely.
Commissioner Reitman,
Yes.
Commissioner Hazen,
Yes.
Commissioner Guzman,
Yes.
Commissioner Cummins.
Okay, I entertain a motion to approve Resolution 986 for the commitment of 700,000 of the corporate fund balance and 1.25 million of the recreation fund to future capital projects of the Glencoe Park District as presented.
So moved.
Second,
Who's moved?
second
Thank you.
over there. Okay,
And Guzman? Okay.
Guzman. Any discussion? Nope, roll call vote.
Commissioner Covey,
Yes.
Commissioner Reitman,
Yes.
Commissioner Hazen,
Yes.
Commissioner Guzman,
Yes.
Commissioner Cummins.
Yes.
Okay,
Before this one, or nope, next one.
entertain a motion to approve the purchase of the Craftsman Gable shelter from Icon Shelters, amount not to exceed 860,000. That will be placed in takeoff as presented.
So moved.
Good job.
Second.
Any discussion?
Megan,
Roll call
Megan?
vote.
Commissioner Covey,
Yes.
Commissioner Reitman,
Yes.
Commissioner Hazen,
Yes.
Commissioner Guzman,
Yes.
Commissioner Gummins.
Yes.
I have a problem with that. Okay, this one I want.
This one I want, yeah.
Okay, so the bus bid I want to just talk about, because this is probably the first time commissioners have had this. We sent out, we do a bid for our bus services, mainly for our day camps and then throughout the year. So we put it out to bid, and if you've read your memos that are in here, let me find this. Hold on a second. We are recommending disqualifying timeless transportation. They submitted a lower overall bid. However, they did not submit all the necessary information. Therefore, they're non-responsive and not a responsible bidder. So we recommend that they be disqualified. And there's an attached memo outlining that in your board packet. It is then recommended that we award the 3-year bus transportation bid for this 26, 27, 27, 28, and 28, 29 years to first student and per hour cost as presented. So that was the next lowest bidder. Do we have any questions?
How does this compare to what we currently have?
Bobby?
How we can currently pay? It's similar. It's gone up, bus pricing has gone up significantly. So it is up, but it is, what's that? $1 per hour. So what, 1/70th,
Surprising.
but it's going to go up multiple over the 3 years.
So like in the way the bid works, so like it's, you've built in like like a step so that we know how much it's gonna go up?
So we put together a schedule of what our estimated bus needs are for school days off, camps, and then we build that formula and we put the hourly rate in. You'll see there's also in-state, out-of-state rates. So that's what we use to our general expected cost.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Okay, entertain a motion to disqualify Timeless Transportation as a non-responsive and not a responsible bus transportation bidder and award the bus transportation bid for March 2026 to February 28th, 2029 to First Student at the per hour cost of 70 per hour for the first year, 73 from March 27 to February 28, and 75 from February 28 to February 29th of February 28th of 2029, as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
I'm trying, it's looking, your
Discussion.
voice is down.
Okay, roll call vote.
Commissioner Kobe,
Approved.
Commissioner Reichman,
Yes.
Commissioner Hazen,
Yes.
Commissioner Guzman,
Yes.
Commissioner Cummins.
Yes.
Okay. There's no other business at this time, as Lisa
have no other
pointed out
business?
earlier. Recommended a motion to move into executive session.
The recorder.
The board recommended a motion to move to executive session. Where no action will be taken, I entertain a motion per section 5 ILCS 120/2 of the Open Meetings Act. The board will enter into closed session to discuss personnel, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees as mandated by section 2.055 ILCS 120/2 C1. Those present during executive session shall include all commissioners only.
Second.
Discussion? Okay, Lisa, please record the time and do a roll call vote.
Okay, it's 9:52. Commissioner Covey.
Yes.
Commissioner Reichman,
Yes.
Commissioner Hazen,
Yes.
Commissioner Guzman,
Yes.
Commissioner Cummins.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to have to write down